It's not this mess where I'm independent and need to figure things out. And, like I remember talking to a few people and they said, oh, self-publishing is so easy though. You just hire this person and then you hire this person. And I was like, so I need to find these people, right? I need to pay them with money that I don't have. That I stupidly spend on other stuff. Like, it's just not a good setup, for someone with ADHD. So that's number one. And then number two, I wrote I think there are things that I've done in my life that have kind of trained me to get to this point. I wrote a dissertation, I wrote a master's thesis. My dissertation was over 100 pages long. So it's like, that was like a step in the direction of a book. And dissertation takes a lot of research, and it's like I have a good sense of the the dance that goes into writing a book. You have to read, you have to take notes, and then you go back into writing, and it's just a lot of flip-flopping, which is sometimes a good thing for someone with ADHD.
Spence, did you have a question, another one? Because if not, I had a specific one.
No, all you.
So we're going to get into some of the women, how they present different when it comes to you based on gender. But specifically, do you have like a warm up or like a routine in what you do to get yourself into the groove of doing a task? Like, do you need to clean the room real quick? Do you need to drink some coffee before you write? Or like, I'm thinking also my students that do homework or math or. So you got your coffee, right? You got, was that Tinkerbell?
Yeah.
I thought so. Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
So
it's pixie magic.
There you go.
You can fly soon. You can fly.
Yep.
If you believe.
So yeah, what's that kind of warm up? Because a lot of my autistic and neurodivergent ADHD clients, we're working on how do we get the structure and format? How do we get into that motion? How do we curate what we call Uncle momentum? We need momentum to do things. We can't just be like, I'm working now.
Yes.
And so what is your format? And maybe others can get a healing from that. Or what do you suggest other people try?
Yeah. So right now I am sitting like this.
Oh, you disappeared. Oh, you're in a ball.
Knees.
Yep.
Yeah.
Knees to chest.
Yeah. Yes. And like my feet are pressed against the chair. It's like the sensory input that I just really need. Or I'll sit like, with my feet up on something pressing and then like against a window. So I have that like sunlight, and then, if I get tired, I like look out the window and it just makes me happy. But, you kind of find your place where, you feel good. I have my noise canceling headphones right here. And this is a standing desk.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, find whatever gadgets help you. And then, I make myself a coffee, take my stimulant meds like an hour before. And I usually start slow. Like I'll tell myself, okay, I'm going to do email.
Okay. There we go.
Laptop, my emails, and then kind of decide like what the priority is for the day. And then I just open it up, and I like using the Pomodoro method. So I'll do like 25 minutes, whatever it is, and then a 5-minute break, and then another 25 minutes. And a lot of just self-compassion, like there are days where with ADHD, it's going to be on or off. Like it's hit or miss. And so there are days where I just can't write. I can't, it's going to come out bad, like it's just not going to come out the way I want it to. It just feels forced. So I end up just, listening to an audiobook and taking notes instead, because that takes less creativity.
Yep.
Yeah. So I've got something on paper that I can go back to when I am in the mood to write, or when my mind is functioning well.
There you go.
Yeah. Did you always kind of have that forgiveness for yourself, or was that something you kind of learned throughout your whole life?
Good question.
I think it's something I had to learn. Yeah. I don't know. I think with these things, it's like, you think, especially as women, I was just thinking about this and, okay, sorry, you guys are two guys, but I was, I had an OBGYN appointment. Hey, I'm a mom. I don't really care anymore. But I
I
spoke
talk
to
about this stuff
her.
all the time with clients. You're fine. You're
I
good.
know,
All the
right?
time. We're good.
Hormonal issues. Oh, you did the
Yeah,
postpartum
we just did
episode.
postpartum. Yep.
Yes. Okay, good. This is a good transition. But anyway, we were talking about hormones, and I was just asking her, well, I'm mid-30s, like I'm gonna make my way toward like my 40s. I have a history of hormonal like irregularities and PCOS.
Yeah. Okay.
And that has affected my mood tremendously, my attention, and all of that just goes hand in hand with ADHD and migraine and depression. And so she said to me, well, if you want to figure out kind of like a different treatment, or in terms of like, switching birth controls or starting, potentially like HRT, then, you may want to consider getting off your birth control. And my heart just dropped. And I was like, no. And I wanted to cry. I was like, there's no way in hell. Like, I'm not, because it would be horrible, horrible. And it's such a sad thing to think about, because it's sort of like telling, someone with ADHD, like, just don't take your stimulant meds. And that would also be horrible for me, but this was a step above that. But anyway, so what I was trying to say was that I think it's hard to remember, but when you really think about it, like, those times are really, really hard. They're really hard because I think you don't, like, other people don't understand you, but you also don't understand yourself.
True. Gee, I mean, that's like autism 101 right there. That's like depression. Everyone that struggles, we all have, not every human. You always get weirded out that people don't understand you, or you get angry or mad at society, but then fuck, you don't even understand yourself. So how is your friend or partner supposed to understand you? And my clients will get mad at their friends. And I'm like, but homie, chill. Like, we don't even know ourselves. And so how can you even advocate for your identities when we don't know who they are? And you say that it's perfectionism and straight A's, but it's not. That's not it. That's just one subsection of your identity as an academic.
Right.
And so, yeah, you're right. It can lead into a lot of stuff. What you were talking about too is change. And like, it's terrifying when I've got my cisgendered women going to get like hormone treatment or just birth control, and you're switching from one to the other. It can mess with so many different things, cause more of the symptoms and side effects, getting off of it, getting on a new one. Maybe they're going to put an anxiety med on it too. Like, it's just so much, and it's terrifying. Some of the doctors, I'm going to be real with you, they treat my women like shit. And if there's a woman of color, they really get treated like shit. Statistically, we know this is factual. But you don't really believe it until you start getting the clients that are my women that are going in there and they're like, doc, this is how I'm feeling. Doc's like, nah. Right. Especially if it's a dude, doc's like, nah, that's not it.
Yeah.
And then my girls are like, no, something's wrong with my innards. They hurt.
Like, they want to be right. But women are very intuitive. Like, I think, it's like, once we've been around for a while, like, we really know ourselves. Like, we have very good, I think, social intuition, which is why so many neurodivergent women fly under the radar, because, our brain is just manufactured that way. Like, we, I think we develop this understanding of ourselves. It takes time. But when we're going to a doctor and we're saying, here's what I think is going on, I think more often than not, we're right.
Yep. I'm telling you, my clients know what their body feels like. And they're like, no. And then this is how it ended. My client's like, something's wrong. Like a month later, they go in to finally get an x-ray or like a MRI, massive cyst in their stomach. And they're like, oh, this is what was wrong with you the whole time. And she's like, we could have dealt with this months ago. But you kept telling me nothing was wrong. Or my client with POTS, like, oh, it's not POTS. It's not POTS. Me and my client are like, this is POTS. And
there's nothing more frustrating too when professionals are telling you it's not this, and it is.
Yep. It's wild.
Get it.
Wow. Well, where are we at now, Spence?
Let's go into the scenes. Frozen. Let it go. So All right. First scene that we watched, it's where Elsa is going off, right? Just going off, but not intentionally,
Yeah.
right? Not intentionally. She has these powers, obviously, that can freeze everything around her. And Anna brings up the fact like, hey, I want to marry this guy. This guy, I want to marry him. And Elsa's like, no, I don't approve of this. This is not going to happen. And then after that, she storms off and she starts getting more frustrated and frustrated. And then she uses her powers, but then it's everyone's looking at her like she is a monster, like she is like the evil, like witch or whatever, right? Um, so, uh, Dr. Gilly, why'd you pick this scene for the show?
Okay, to highlight the emotional
Yeah,
dysregulation component of
there
ADHD.
you go.
Yeah. It's funny
There you
because I thought about Elsa and her powers and, just her behavior in the story in line with ADHD in girls. But then when I rewatched it, I was like, holy moly, like Anna has it too. Like even more than Elsa. Or like for Anna, it's less masked.
Okay.
For Elsa, it's like totally suppressed,
Right.
which is why it comes out like that and why she doesn't know how to use her powers in a helpful way because she hasn't given herself the opportunity to learn.
Mm,
Correct.
yeah.
How would you go about helping someone like that with her family history, possibly taking over as being like the next in line, the queen? And she has to perform and be like this perfect individual, but she hides herself with the glove and clothing. Everything's perfect about her. And she has this traumatic past where she's hurt her sister. How would you recommend someone like this slowly come out of the shell or embrace the other parts of themselves that could be deemed wrong, mutant?
Hey, thanks for watching this video. Check out the full episode on our channel and anywhere you find podcasts. Also, remember to like and subscribe. Whoop whoop.